excited to stop by and give you an update on my finish, fix, or frog projects. I actually have made a lot of progress, which is why I'm so excited to share. I know when we're looking at the whip basket and there's so much in there, it can feel very overwhelming, but the good news is that when you actually start accomplishing and finishing the projects, you get this like amazing feeling of accomplishment and peace because you have gotten something off of your plate. So if you are still doing finish, fix, frog with me, I encourage you to keep going. It is definitely worth it. All right, so first thing I can show you is that I finished my son's Elio jacket. So it's actually a pattern that I released in late 2020 around Christmas time. Is the kids version of my Umo Amargo jacket. And I was knitting two samples, or actually I had a sample knitter knit one sample for my younger son, and I was knitting a sample for my older son and ran out of yarn. So I ran out of the blue yarn and didn't have enough to, I really only needed a little bit more, unfortunately, but I didn't have enough to copy the color changes from the other sleeve. So I ordered new yarn, and then it just kind of sat around for a while because, you know, sleeves, but I finally finished it. So now this does still have holes in the pockets with no pockets, but my son is not really a pocket kind of guy. No matter how often I try to tell him, you know, put things in your pocket so you won't lose them. On the plus side, I don't find weird things in my kids' pockets in the laundry, but on the other, they lose crap all the time. So on the off chance that he someday decides he does want pockets, the openings are there. Otherwise, they blend in, you know, pretty seamlessly, and now he has a nice finished sweater that he can wear. It is still pretty chilly around here. This week has been in the 40s and windy, so wind chills and in the 30s, and still very cool down in the 20s at night. Not that we go out at night, but the point being, it's still pretty cold around here, and he can probably get a month's wear out of this. Again, my kids don't really wear a lot of the stuff that I knit for them. They are happy to be barefoot and in short sleeve t-shirts year round, and I blame their father for that. But he does have it for, you know, if he wants to play outside, he doesn't need a heavy coat. Now he has a sweater that he can wear. So that is one thing done. And then I also finished my son's baby blanket. So it is completed. See, I can show you how big the whole thing is. No, my chair's kind of in the way. Do it this way. So it is completed. You can see it's not a really big blanket. Again, it's a baby blanket, and it was intended to be sized for a baby. And he is not, but he is a rather small 6-year-old. Ollie has George syndrome, also called 22q deletion syndrome, which means he is missing a segment of his 22nd chromosome. And if you want to learn more about that, I've got a highlight on my Instagram, stories highlight, and you can learn all about it there. But one of the results of that is that he is rather small for his age, especially considering that his father is 6'3". So he's more the size of maybe a 4 to 5-year-old. He's 6.5. So this blanket is not big enough for his bed. As I said in the previous vlog, it doesn't matter that much because he sleeps on a mattress on his brother's floor. But he's actually really happy to have this. He was so excited when I finished it. He wants it on his bed every night, or on his mattress. He wants it on there every night. And it is sufficient to cover, you know, his body. It doesn't cover the whole mattress, but it's sufficient to cover his body, and he's really happy to have it. So I'm really happy to have this finished as well, especially because it makes him so happy. And like I said, they don't really wear the sweaters or the socks, but apparently blankets are the way to go. The other thing I finished, I'm gonna do some yoga moves here. I finished my non-Euclidean socks. This is a pattern by Sarah Jordan, PA Knitwit. I had finished the first sock back in the summer, and I have just finished up the second sock. I have been wearing these basically, that's a little better, basically nonstop since I finished them. They do need a wash soon, especially as it has been rainy here and the dog has been out in the mud and she has stepped on my socks a number of times. So they have some muddy little puppy footprints on them. But after a week of almost continuous wear, the yarn is holding up really nicely. I'm really happy with the finished socks. They fit really nicely. And my sock drawer really needs replenishing, so it's really good to have another pair of socks done. Now, usually from mid-April through October, I put the hand knit socks away. And for most of that period, you know, it's hot and I wouldn't be wearing them anyway. But I also just really like kind of putting them away and forgetting about them and then pulling them out in the fall. You know, the first days it starts to feel really cool in the fall. And just it's this whole thing of socks ready for me to wear. So I probably won't be wearing them that much longer this season, but they'll be ready to go for the fall. And so I finished those 3 projects. And what I'm working on now, which is around here somewhere. Okay, so I finished those. So now what I'm working on is making a second sock, finishing a second sock for my Good Dividends sock pattern. This was my fall mystery knit along. So really cute pair of shorty socks with this sort of brioche fake out stitch pattern here. Is just a slip stitch pattern, but it ends up looking like vertical stripes. So I finished this, of course, for the mystery knit along and then didn't finish the second one. I really have very bad second sock syndrome. So I am ready to start the increases for the heel. You'll notice I switched up my main and contrast colors on my second sock, which is something I usually do when I am working 2 color socks, just to make them slightly different. I am really excited that these are shorty socks and they don't actually use much yarn, especially when you're using 2 colors. So I'm gonna have plenty of this left over. This is from Fiber for the People. I want to say it's her Ironsides colorway, and I love it. It's so beautiful. I got it in her yarn club, the Oxide Club, which was early 2020, and I think now it's one of her main colorways, or her repeatable ongoing colorways. Anyway, so I'm ready to start the heel increases, and I'm really hoping to finish this sock this weekend. I would love to get another pair of socks off the needles and get ready to start a non-sock whip from my basket of whips. So we got 3 whips finished. We have a fourth, wow, I'm good at math. A 4th one started. The last thing I wanted to show you is that I did some fixing, some mending for Finish Fix Frog. And that is I did some mending on these socks for my husband. I generally don't mend socks, especially not more than once. When I wear socks, they tend to wear out, more yoga again, they tend to wear out here and up into the big toe. And once they start sprouting holes, they just don't stop. So I'll fix one hole and then another one will pop up. So generally speaking, I don't do a lot of sock mending because it's kind of pointless for me. However, my husband, who I mentioned is 6'3", has big feet, and I don't like knitting socks for him because they take forever. And since I have second sock syndrome, they really take forever. 2, I made these socks for my husband for our wedding. And they're named after him. This is my first sock pattern. It's called Limeño. So I went ahead and patched them, and this is actually the second time. You can see I'm not very good. I just don't have the patience for it. So, I mean, it's functional, but it's not very pretty. So I darned both heels. I find this very interesting, where people's socks wear out, because this is obviously very different from where mine wear out. And his are a little bit worn sort of in the area where mine normally would be. But my socks will get, like, honestly threadbare in this area very quickly. And his are holding up, although there's a teeny hole right there. Like I said, this is the second time I have darned them in this spot. And I don't think I'm going to do it again. So both of them were worn out in the same spot. I have darned them for the second time. And obviously I'm not going to throw them away because, like I said, they were a wedding gift and they were my first sock pattern. But I'm not just going to keep mending them over and over again for him to just keep wearing them out. So they might be retired soon, but they won't be thrown away. So 3 whips, finished off the needles, done. A 4th one being worked on. One thing I have not been doing a great job of is keeping up with my rewards. Remember we talked about, setting up a reward for each whip that you want to finish. So one of my rewards was a new sock pattern, which I did buy. I don't remember what it's called. You know what? Watch the next episode of the podcast. I'll tell you that. It's definitely a sock pattern, but so I did do that. My reward for finishing the blanket was supposed to be to grab myself a Starbucks. Now, it'd be nice if I could actually go to Starbucks and sit there and drink the coffee. It is not warm enough for that yet. It is going to get warm later this week, but I got to take care of my kids, so I can't just wander off to Starbucks. But I may head over there in the morning. Today's Saturday, so I may head over there in the morning and just snag one for myself, even though I can't stay there and drink it. It's not that I like Starbucks so much, it's that I like going to a coffee shop, and in the suburbs it's basically just Starbucks. There's no independent coffee shops around here. It's a real bummer. Anyway, so that's my reward for that. And so the next reward I have set up for finishing the socks is to go ahead and cast on a new Make 9 project. If you want to hear more about my Make 9 for 2021, definitely check out some of the more recent podcasts. You can learn all about that. The next thing I'm going to the next thing I'm going to cast on, I already have set up. I'm ready to go, so I just want to finish up that sock, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. So don't forget to give yourself the rewards that you have set up for finishing your whips. So I hope you are also making good progress on your Finish, Fix, and Frog projects. Let me know down in the comment box how they're going. I want to hear all about them. If you have any blog posts or vlogs or anything of the sort, I'd be happy to share it with other Finish, Fix Froggers. So definitely let me know. Give me a tag on social media or whatever. We can do it. We can finish these projects in 2021.